Hey everybody, this is the Friday vlog for February 15th, 2013, for the writing of the book, New World Revelation, Chronicles of a Black Sheep. I did get a question this week, and the question was from Miss Victoria Graham from Facebook. The question was, how do I define a black sheep? And the question is very simple. The definition, the orthodox definition of a black sheep is a member of a family or group that does not fit in. The whole thing about being a black sheep, if I may add, is that most do not fit in anywhere. You have your exceptional black sheep, and they generally don't fit in anywhere. And I can say that growing up, I did not fit in much anywhere, but that did not take away from my usefulness everywhere. So in the book, I discussed that in different parts, how black sheep come about. I believe the black sheep are made. I don't believe that they just so happen. I believe that a lot of black sheep may be forced into the position that they are. So with that in mind, when I began to write this book and when I started the page, I wanted to come up with a way that could not just be, the page is not just for marketing to sell the book. It's a community, because I've seen black sheep, black sheep. I've seen them in different formats. I've seen people like myself who went one way, but I've seen black sheep that didn't fit in and they seem to excel another way. And I think the difference between that is support, really. I think people don't realize how serious or how valuable support is, whether it's emotional, moral, any type of support that you, even financial sometimes. We don't realize how valuable support and how strong a process support is in helping people determine where they go. For instance, in the book I discussed when I talked to my son, I took him to meet a friend of mine who was a black sheep. He was a nerd, but he was a black sheep. He actually did not fit in with the nerds too much because he didn't look like them, but he didn't make it with the dum-dums. And when I talk about the dum-dums, I'm talking about the cool kids, but all cool kids wasn't dum-dums either. He just had a way about him. He kind of stood out, always not fitting the bill, fitting the stereotype. It just shows you how much we rely on stereotypes to live. Everybody could be prejudiced in regards to that. But because of the support that he got growing up, the tremendous support he got growing up, he was able to become successful without too many problems. But in talking with him one-on-one, I learned that when he underwent a lot of changes in his life that caused him, he himself still carried a lot of emotional scars. And I was like, wow, I guess anybody could carry scars because of your life, And anyone who hasn't been following my page, I get kind of deep a little bit. I try to, not so much to try to, I just try to share my different insights, and a lot of insights right now because of the chapter that I'm on, and I'm talking about family life, my family lives, because I have fathered 7 children, and the different ups and downs and turmoil that has affected our relationship. So, and even relationships with females. So that's an issue with this chapter. And going through this chapter, I actually had a hard time. I'm having a hard time. Hopefully I have it done so I can move on to other subjects on my page. But this particular subject right now is kind of strong for me. And that's fine. That's part of the process, and I accept it. So as far as like black sheep are concerned, for those who feel they are, who might be, or just feel out of place, I'm trying to develop a community for people who feel that way, because it's easy to tag a person and take away your feeling about that person. Oh, that person, oh, they're weak, or and we see so many times how people mock people who, let's say, kill themselves. And they mock them. Some people say, oh, you're weak, only the strong survive. It's easy to rely on a cliche when we're talking about a decision that we might not understand. We never know what a person is actually going through. And in that, they might be, all screwed up. And screwed up is not a tag. Screwed up is what it is. And if they don't get that support or that help, you never know what they're liable to do. Is it better that you be screwed up and take a life? Is that what you're saying? Rather than kill yourself? People say, oh, all that's wrong. Of course. So the whole thing is that if you will stretch out and talk to somebody about maybe, find another avenue to killing someone else, then you need to really get on an avenue about trying to help people that might not have the mental stability to save themselves. And I think we owe it to each other, for real, because in a smaller sense or broader sense, depending on who you are, if you look at the black population, we make up 13% of the population. We've been doing that. We've been at that point for a long time. So what does that say? We have no growth. We have no growth. We have no stability financially. Even so much as, wages, all the differences that they highlight in the news, and that's all well and fine. But it starts, people say, well, you sit on, we're tired of talking about it. But every person that say they're tired of talking about it, what do you do? What are you doing? I mean, really. I had a conversation on my page earlier this week, and the gentleman had a lot of good insight. But our actions can't be one way. They can't be one way. We can't be, we got to take off the mask. And I talk about, I got a post about masks. We got to take them off. We can't be perfect. Nobody's perfect out here. So when we're trying to get things going on and we're trying to fix something, if you're trying to fix something, great. Please, by all means, if you're on my page and you are actually doing something other than talking, then please share with us, so that we can either augment that, take it to wherever we go to do what we do. I want this community to grow, because the thing is, it's a lot more people out here that need help than may admit it. Than a poll may give us numbers too. We can fall back on statistics all day long, but if we know that we're messed up, we're messed up. That's what it is. The whole human race is. It's not with me, I would love to see my people do better. But then at the same time, I can sit on the outside and point like a lot of people. But I belong on the inside, because I need to do better. And because I need to do better, I do a lot of soul searching, a lot of thinking. And in doing that, we get caught up into a lot of stuff. Like I said, I've done a lot. For all my insight comes from an experience. So Do I want to be a old fool? Nah. But there is that point where you have to say, okay, well, I don't want to be an old fool. You know, I hear a lot of people say, you're young, you got time to turn it around. And that's great motivation in the right context. But the whole thing is that people start using that as a way to procrastinate. And we got to stop procrastinating. And we got to tell the truth. Like, we got to really tell the truth. This whole male-female thing, relationships, you know, over the course of Valentine's Day, I saw a lot of posts. And they were really ridiculous. Like, really, stop it. If you're happy to be single, great. If you're happy, if you're truly happy, but I don't think so. Me personally, I'm going to tell you from my point of view. I hated being single. I did. I allowed myself to do some pretty risky things when I was single. So being in a relationship for me was strong. It was safe, you know, and trying to do things and trying to get better myself, you know. And anybody that's not, you know, totally scorned, like, I think that's a bitter mentality to say, I'd rather be alone. Now, okay, and that's relative, because in regards to say I'd rather be alone than being abused, or I'd rather be alone than be mistreated, okay, that's fine. But just to rather be alone, you know, and that in of itself, without saying why you rather be alone, you know, it's not as elementary as people think, because some people, you know, they're really scared. They're really scared to try. I mean, and I wouldn't say rightfully so, but I can understand it. You know, because there's some stuff out here, like, you know, this battle of the sexes thing. We got to stop it, really. Ladies, stop it. Stop acting like men are just so different. Dudes, fellas, you know, I talk about the fellas a lot because I'm a guy, so I'm gonna pin it a lot of stuff towards the fellas. But it's not that I think the fellas. Oh, to answer a question, it's not that I think the fellas are always on the bad side. No, I don't. And I'm not supporting that concept. Nor am I supporting the concept that women are always on the bad side. I did that. I tried that lifestyle before. That whole man power, women power, and both sides are stupid because you alienate the other side. Look, if women kept themselves to themselves and men kept themselves to themselves, we would die. Period. We know that. The smart people know that. Now, the whole thing is getting past that mental and emotional block that says, I don't want to be hurt. And everybody feels it. You know, I wrote a post, the letter to the heartbreaker yesterday. So on the 14th, on Valentine's Day, I wrote a letter to the heartbreaker. And that was a real thing. That was a real thing. I wish I could find her so I can really give her that letter. So it would be for real, but I mean, it can be tethered either way, because who knows? You know, asking the question, who came first, the bad dude or the bad woman? You know, that's like asking what came first, the chicken or the egg. You know, so the whole thing is that we have to stop the cycle. Really, stop it, please. It's stupid. We look dumb. You know, the unnecessary drama, the tearing down of each other. Okay, these are all issues that we know. You know, some of the silly things, I really have to touch on one that just, I mean, I like Mary J. Blige with that song with the good guys being no fun and the bad guys. Okay, my personal preference about that statement is, if a good guy is no fun to you, then you might be a bad woman. Period. Period. That song speaks volumes to me about priorities, and you can't, look, he doesn't have to be a bad boy. Ladies, you look for these bad boys, and then you get popped upside the head. Everybody's angry. You know, I have sisters. I have female cousins. I have, you know, a mother. And really, you know, you can't blame a snake for being a snake. you know. So I did get a question on, do I think I'm a good guy? I think that I try to be. I think that I want to be. So, and when it comes down to it, when all the measurements are taken at the end of my life, then I will know. You know, right now it's limbo for that, and that's just being honest. It's limbo for that. I want to be better. I want to stop making decisions that really impact my life. A lot of people they think it's safe. When I say they, I mean the real fearful people. They think it's safe to be angry. And in the letter, I talk about all the things that we do to people, and then you get your heart broken. She didn't did something, or he didn't did something to you. So then you turn around and you boo-hoo about it. And then you act like it doesn't matter and it's nothing. And then you turn around and you play the victim. And it's all right to be the victim one time, but to be the victim 2 times, you become dangerous, because then you start to resent this person. And really, the letter came from an understanding that I realized rather late in my dating life, that if you hang on to it too long, you're gonna end up doing to somebody else what they did to you. And if you don't believe me, you try to find somebody that's gonna be truthful with you about it, because the hanging on. I've seen questions on the post about hanging on to exes and stuff like that. You can't do that. I did that, and it really caused a lot of problems. It really caused a lot of problems. So, that thing. So, family life, children, as far as my children are concerned, that gives me a lot of stress, because, I wrote in one post that I wonder if my children see me as a Superman that I saw my father as. My father was, to me, always will be, Superman. So, am I him? I don't think so. I don't think that I'm even half the man he was, to be honest with you. I would like to be, and I'm working on that. But really, we really got to stop. I see, and I'm gonna take a shot right now. I'm gonna take a shot. I'm not gonna call out the particular page, but I ran across a page, and really, it's like a bit of bitch factory, and it had a male counterpart. And I found out that the page is ran by 2 people that know each other. So, I mean, they're playing the dozens. They're playing this war of the sexes. And what does that do to our families? What does it do to our individual happiness? You can't find happiness. I mean, you can find happiness in yourself, but how can you be happy in yourself when you think so badly about, the person that's supposed to complete you? And we are supposed to be completed by the other sex. I don't care what you say. If you don't agree, so be it. We were meant to be, together that way. So what happens is that when you carry ill feelings about the other sex, no matter how benign you think it is, it's really terrible. It's really terrible. So, because you can't find happiness, because when that good guy comes up to you, or that good woman comes and said hi, first thing you do is, women say, and dudes be like, a lot of times. So we got to stop it, because it's messing our kids up, really. I believe that it messes our kids up. So that's why I'm struggling so much. I'm struggling so much with this chapter. I really, really, really miss my kids, and they're scattered. And that's the one thing I didn't want. But at the same time, I kept trying to hold on to this thought of having a family. So I ended up having children. And I'm not going to say that I picked the wrong women. I'm not going to say that. I used to say that. Like, I hate them bitches, you know, and I'm not going to say that anymore. And I apologize to them for calling them bitches at one point in time, even though I'm sure they called me a bunch of names. But to be absolutely real, I can't say that I picked the wrong ones. I think that I had as much to do with it falling apart as they did. So, and in some cases more. So in real reality, you know, from the imperfect man's point of view, you know, we have to not. We have to have a point to say stop. I love my kids to death. I love my kids to death, and I'm seeing what the world is doing to them without me. And when I say without me, because we're displaced. We're out of place. You know, they should wake up and see me. And I always felt that way. I always had this dream that all my children will be with me. But then if I do that, then they're away from their mothers. And then what happens? It's a whole nother side of the cycle. It's the mirror image of the cycle, happening all over again. So it's really bad when you stop to think about it, you know. You know when, you know, love is blind, and they say that, and love is dumb too. But it's okay. Stop blaming love. It's not love, it's you. It was me, and it was him over there, you know. So what we're going to do, or what I decided to do, and I hope that, you know, I hope that people are doing it. I'm sure people are doing it because I'm around a bunch of deep thinkers, so I'm sure that they did it too. We started thinking about, like, what did we do? What did we see that we turned away from that would really help us when it came to family and stuff like that? Fellas, our families need us, and a lot of us is watching this video. I'm sure I have all the confidence in the world that it's only a very little bit of us who are not doing. But the whole thing is that just like anything else, you can do 100 things right, do one thing wrong, and guess what? So I think that most of us are doing the best we can. And for you guys, keep up the good work, keep doing it. Keep doing it. One day it's going to break for you. Because it broke for me before. I don't think that I really cherished it as much as I thought I did. Because I still made mistakes. And mistakes happen. So some things I leave up to fate. Some things I say it's my fault. So in the book I explain a whole lot of that. But this is right now is just the vlog on a process. I'm chronicling the chronicling. So, really, what else? Cover the kids. If any of them watching, I love you. You know, we almost there. You know, hang on in there for me. Friends. I got a lot of friends. I do. I got a lot of acquaintances. And I'm heavy on the friends. I mean real friends. And I don't think I could have got this far in life without them. So, to be absolutely honest, but even my best friends, you know, I had to learn to put them at a distance. You know, be friends out your business. I don't care if they your best friend, your favorite aunt. I don't care. Because people will give you advice based on their experiences, and some of them won't be honest. They won't be honest. They're trying to protect you, and in protecting you, they won't give you all the variables you need. You know, they'll tell you what they think you need to know. You know, and if you are not the person to think for yourself, then you'll be lost because you'll be doing what they say do, and guess what? You'll end up just like them. So, and that's the real of it. I've stopped even going to my parents for advice because my parents have been scarred by life's experience. to some extent. So sometimes, yeah, I started feeling like I had to listen very carefully for the bitterness in some advice, you know. So even so, with that, live your own life, make your decisions, man. Follow your own heart. Everybody has one. If you with somebody that you think they don't have a heart, and you are, or if you sure they don't have a heart, you might want to get away from them people because they're not going to be good for you. I don't care what anybody says, stone cold. Even people that give the bitter advice, it's because they have a heart. It's just hurting, and it still may be hurting. It may have been hurting for years, and that's how the bitterness grows because you don't let go of it. You don't let go of it, and you constantly, even with the good, you think about the bad and the worse. And I talk about attracting that bad stuff to you. It was the last vlog. Gentleman named Mike asked a question, and that has stayed with me to death because his situation was close to mine. I have a few of my kids who are not biologically mine, but they're mine. You know, I've been a father to them thus far, so I want to continue to do that as long as I'm able to. And it helps me. It's good. You know, the more good you do, the more it will increase you in the good things that you can and the good things that come back to you. So, and that's real talk. You know, we got to really stop that. If you're happy in your relationship, if you're really happy in your relationship and your family life, share it. You know, we need the people that are successful in these aspects. And I know it's hard to find people that's successful because even though they may look successful, they might not be successful. You know what I mean? But nobody's perfect. Again, there's no such thing as a perfect situation for anybody. So, with that being said, do the best for you. Tailor your relationship. Michael Basin said that. Tailor your relationship for you and her or you and him. That's the best advice I can give. I don't even tell people to leave. I don't do that anymore. I don't give advice anymore. I used to think I was the best advice giver in the world because I was giving advice the wrong way based on my experiences. So that's why I say keep your friends out of it. I've been the friend that my girlfriends run to. Even some of my fellas run to. You know, what should I do? What should I do? And I'm just telling them, yakking off, sounding dumb as I don't know what. You know, I wish somebody had came to me and said, mind your effing business. You know what I mean? So the whole thing is, I know friends. I know we want the best for our friends. Some of y'all undercover. So I'm not even talking to y'all because what I'm saying is going in one ear and out the other. So for the friends that really care about your friends, just be there for them. Don't get in the way. Get out the way. If you really care about that person, let them make their own decision. And of course, there's like all kinds of course, there's all types of things that could go wrong. And I mean, if it's a heinous situation, I understand that. You know, I understand a friend stepping in if it's an abusive situation. But a lot of times, you know, when I'm talking about two people, who are trying, you know, and believe me, if you two are trying, it don't make things perfect. Okay, this is not TV. This is not TV. The last thing I hate hearing is something that I know I heard on TV get said to me. Like, okay, you watched that episode. You know, this is stupid. But at the same time, people try to, you know, communicate however they can. So that's the chapter that I'm on. This is the synopsis of trying to get through that chapter. I'm halfway through it. Trying to get the other half done. And it's rough. It's rough. It's causing me to look into myself a lot. Like I said, You know, all the things that I tried to hide about myself, and putting it out on the table. I do it on the page. If you don't know what the page is, on Facebook, you can find the page. It's called New World Revelation Chronicles of a Black Sheep. I'm on Twitter at New World Rebel. If you have any questions, of course, you can, if you're on YouTube, leave a message. You can email me. You can email me at Warren Graham, WarrenGraham76 @gmail.com. I'm always around, floating in the cycle, except when I'm looking for a job, of course. So I'm really trying to do that. That's rough. Oh, when I get to that part, we're gonna have some good discussions over that, I'm sure. But the whole thing is that, you know, families, we got to get our families back together. Our sons are dying now; they're showing our daughters dying the wrong way. You know, and as a father, I'm gonna tell you something. That's a fear. That is a fear, and I try not to focus on it, but I pray about it. You know, I have some sweet kids, man. And the last thing that I need to test my sanity is something to happen to them out here. And I'm sure that a lot of fathers understand and feel what I'm saying. Even mothers, I'm sure, feel what I'm saying. You know, so we gotta, you know, let's take care of them, do good by them. That's my vlog for February the 15th, 2013. Y'all have a good day, night, rest easy.